En un mundo lleno de desafíos y adversidades, existe un hombre que ha transformado la adversidad en éxito. Con ustedes, el fundador y CEO de Mortgage Guys, Ambient Realty y Driven Enterprises, un auténtico visionario. Es Albert Preciado, un inversionista inmobiliario y un agente de bienes raíces. Su historia es un testimonio de perseverancia y determinación. En 2013, Albert adquirió su primer propiedad de 3 unidades, marcando el inicio de una transformación en su vida. Su pasión por la inversión inmobiliaria lo llevó a superar obstáculos inimaginables. En 2008, cuando el mercado inmobiliario se tambaleaba, Albert enfrentó una de las pruebas más duras de su vida. Muchos hubieran abandonado, pero él eligió resistir. La razón detrás de su lucha es conmovedora. Albert vivió en carne propia el rechazo de las solicitudes hipotecarias de su familia en los años 90 debido a agentes inmobiliarios incompetentes. Hoy, en Beverly Hills, vive el sueño que alguna vez imaginó, una casa con un gran jardín y su amada familia. Y ahora en Mente, Albert Preciado comparte las historias no contadas de su vida, las lecciones aprendidas en el camino y cómo llegó a donde está hoy. Bienvenido, Albert Preciado.
Albert Preciado.
Hey, brother.
Thank you so much for making the time, man.
Thank you for having me.
I want to jump right into it.
Let's do it.
When was that time, or how many years passed between you realizing you'd be a millionaire to the time you actually became one?
When I was 6 years old, I knew I wanted to be a millionaire. I didn't know I wanted to be a millionaire. I knew I wanted to be rich because we grew up from the ghetto. You know, I came from the ghetto, Mexico. My parents are from Mexico City. So when I grew up, all I knew was the ghetto, shootings, drug dealing, and all that stuff. So when my dad from the ghetto took me with him to paint homes in Beverly Hills, that's the first time I saw like beautiful homes. We used to drive past Sunset right here, like this area. I don't know how familiar you are with Sunset, but we used to drive past this street, Sunset, on our way to Beverly Hills. So I saw this building when I was 6, and I was like, I didn't know it was this building, but I knew life was better somewhere else. So when we got to Beverly Hills to paint the homes, that's when I saw those mansions, Ferraris, and all that stuff. And I asked my dad, "How come we don't have this? How come you don't drive this car? How come we don't live here?" That's when he told me, "This is only for the rich, and this is not for us." And that's when I told him I want to be rich. We're gonna be rich.
Wow. So 2 things. Your vision was being expanded by just you looking at things, but obviously someone had to help you become a believer. Did you know who that person was, or what made you not go the other way? Because most people would look at that, like you're sharing your dad's situation, saying that's just for the rich, that's not us. I don't know if you have a moment that you can recall to and said, that was the moment I knew that was still for me too, that I could be worthy of that.
When I saw realtors, because I used to go to like the morning breakfast places like IHOP, place like that. And I used to go there because I was hungover from going out. And I used to be with my friends that weren't doing that well.
Okay.
But then I used to see people that would get there hungover like me, but they were rich and I was poor. And I used to see them, and I wasn't poor, I was broke, because there's a difference. But these young people would get there in the Benz and BMW and sit down, Rolex watches with a hot chick. And I would be like, what the fuck do these guys do? And then after a while, I found out they do real estate. And then they told me, well, you don't have to go to college to get a license, and you could make $100K, $200K, $500,000 or more a year. All you need is a real estate license. So I told my mom, you were wrong all along. Like, you don't have to go to college and get a degree. You just have to sell real estate. I'm going to get a real estate license. So I got my real estate license. I got into it, and I found out, like, hey, you could have an S-Class Mercedes. You could have a 7 Series BMW. You could have a Rolex and a hot chick. And I'm hung over with the wrong friend. I'm hung over here broke. These guys are hung over with the hot chick and the Benz. And I'm like, that's what I want to do. So I got my license, got into real estate. And that's how I knew that we could make a lot of money like that in real estate.
Yeah, and how old were you when that epiphany came to you?
I was like 21 years old.
21, still
old.
Pretty young,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
still very young. Oh, you're still young. Still look very young.
Yeah,
That's
thank
good.
you.
Congratulations. And now let's talk about the mindset, because obviously how much would you agree with the fact that, you know, winning in business is a mental game, like 90%? I mean, don't quote me like specifically 90 or 91, but it's about that mental toughness, because obviously getting to where you've gotten right now, it hasn't been like this straight path, right? It's been maybe rocky situations past. So, yeah, tell us more about like some of the situations you've gone through that most other people would have given up, but it was thanks to your mental toughness that you were able to, muscle through.
Mm-hmm. You just can't quit, because a quitter one time is a quitter for life. And it's kind of like a boxer. When he gets knocked out, every other fighter knocks them out because they know that they're mentally weak. They won't get up. And I know that if you quit once, it's going to be easier to quit next time it gets hard. So you can't. The trick is you can't quit ever. So I've never quit it. And I always have, like, in business, it always goes like this, but it's always going up unless you quit. When you quit at one time, you're always going to suck. You're never going to make it. But I never quit. And every cycle, like every couple of years, or year, or sometimes even months, you go through challenges, but you can't quit. You got to keep going. You can't stop. So me, I know that I got to work at least 18 hours a day, sometimes 16, but every day. I like it. I like what I do. I like money. I like flying private. I like having the good things. I like living in Bel Air. I like having a real business, not a mom and pop. I don't believe in thinking small. I believe in being I want to be the greatest ever, and I want to leave a mark so that other people can get inspired later, past my lifetime. So I'm just driven like that.
Yeah. You can't get what you don't see. I've seen you make some very bold, big statements. You have to have some real balls to do something like that. Obviously, that's why I started with the first question. When did you first visualize yourself as a millionaire before becoming one, right? And so who's expanding your vision today? Because what I've learned is that no matter how smart you are, you can't expand your own vision. So who expands your visions today?
Elon Musk. I want to be bigger than him. I want to have a company that's worth 300 billion, a trillion. I think big. Like I don't compare myself to people that are below me or like me. I compare myself with, I have a mortgage company. There's only two companies I look up to: Rocket Mortgage and UWM, the two biggest ones. I have a real estate company. The only companies I look up to: Keller Williams, Coldwell Banker, Remax. I have a Driven Enterprises. The only person I look up to in that space is Tony Robbins. Like I believe I'm going to be bigger than Tony Robbins.
Wow.
And I compare myself to the best of the best. I don't care what people think. People have always made fun of me or thought I was crazy, but nobody in mortgage, no mortgage broker in the US has a better headquarters than we have. None. Show me one.
I can attest to that. I was pretty impressed walking in. Looks like a very cool operation.
I'm a young Mexican. This is what a Latino can do. So if you're
Arriba
watching
Mexico.
A huevo.
Claro que sí. No,
and I say it in the humble way though. By the way,
I understand.
Like I say it because everybody counted me out, and look who's still standing. Look who's still growing. When the recession happened, mortgage and real estate people, they contracted. I said we're gonna expand. Oh, but what if this happens? I don't care, because I know that I can't lose if I don't quit.
Yeah. But I want to add something to that. Arriba los latinos, arriba los hispanos, arriba los inmigrantes. Están rompiendo, right? Like we're really eating most of the new Americans, the new generations eating, and this is not me saying, it's a statistic, is we're eating the maybe second, third generation Americans lunch.
Yeah.
Anyways, so to wrap it up, because you're tight on time and all, there's a lot to talk about, but maybe to wrap it up is, you talk about mental toughness and values, like going to where you are now, from where you are now to where you want to go. Obviously, you know that whatever you've done to right now, it's not going to get you to where you want to go, right? Have you identified those things yet? That you know, like, I got to do this to get there.
Yeah. There's only one thing that I got to do right now to grow the two companies that I'm going to exit on. So we're selling two companies in the next 3 to 4 years. I think we could do it in 3 years, and I'm looking to sell for $1 billion. And even if I get hundreds of millions, I'll take it. But I gave myself a limit. So I have 4 years and a couple of months left on that limit, because I gave myself 5 years. It's already been like 8 or 9 months. So I got about 4 years and a couple of months. But I think in 3 years we could sell. So I'm going to sell for a heavy number, and then I'm going to go and take maybe 6 months to a year off, travel private plane, go to Italy, go to Dubai, go to Africa, go all over the world with my family, drink the best champagne on the jet, and just see what I'm gonna do, because I believe in doing everything young. So that's the next step. So what I did is I got mentors. I hired mentors, paid them a lot of money on what was my next goal, my next step. And my next step is selling 2 companies. I'm still going to have other companies left, but these 2 companies I want to sell. So I've been hiring the mentors that have sold companies in my industry for billions of dollars. So I know what my only step right now, we build the infrastructure. We have all these departments. We have all the employees. We just need to add more sales, more agents, more salespeople, more salespeople. Yeah, the more salespeople we add, the more employees we'll add. And then we just got to continue to grow it. So in 3 years, if we continue to do what we do, which we are, I'm not going to work any less. I'm just going to work more and smarter. So as long as we do what we do for 3 more years, I believe we'll sell the company for $1 billion, like for sure.
I'll tell you what, that's not a crazy dream. And the reason is I got a couple mentors who sold companies for billions of dollars as well. So, man, this is fire, this value you're bringing here.
Thank you.
It really is, because it really speaks to you either have an abundant mentality or a scarcity mentality, and I'd go with abundant all the time.
And let me tell you something just really quick.
Yeah.
You got to put out to the air what you believe in, because a lot of people are scared to do that. I'm not. Like, I put it on my life. Like, we will sell for $1 billion in 3 years, because what I say happens. When you cast a vision and you put it out, you hold yourself accountable. Most people are scared and they're like, I don't want to say that because what if I don't do it? Well, you must do it. So I always scream and tell the world what I'm going to do, and then I do it. And most people don't do that. So if you have a crazy idea, say it and go do it, because it's possible, but don't limit yourself. So if you think big, if you think small, it takes the same amount of effort to think big or small. So why not think big?
Yeah. 2 things to really wrap it up, because I think what you just said, being an impossibility thinker to do the impossible. You first got to be an impossibility thinker, and that's what you're doing, really thinking that big. And then the other thing that I would like to wrap it up, and you can follow up to close, is that, the founder of IBM, I think it's Thomas Watson, he said when they asked him, why is IBM so successful? To which he said, in IBM, we don't do business, we build one. And we act as if we were already that big company we want to envision. And that's what I see what you're doing with the way that you're thinking. So I have no doubt that we'll be hearing great stuff about what you're doing, man. I wish you much success.
Yeah.
Anything anything else you want to wrap up with?
Well, for people watching this, I just want to tell you that, hey, I'm the stupid kid. What people used to call a stupid kid. I was an ESL student. I was a special ed student. All my friends from childhood grew up. They graduated from college, most of them. All my primos and primas, they got their degrees in Mexico and other places, and they all thought they were going to be successful. And 1% of my income is more than all their combined income put together. So I am an example of somebody that everybody counted out, the underdog, what they're capable of doing. So if you are that kid right now where everybody's making fun of you, where everybody's telling you that, hey, you're failing, you're over and over again, then don't count yourself out, because you only need one person to believe in you, and that's you. If you believe in you, anything is possible.
Well, that's a great indicator, guys. If you have a GPA LL, you're probably going to be very successful, because if you're too smart, you probably analyze everything way too much and you won't get there. So, Albert, to your success, buddy.
Yeah. Cheers. Si se
GPA
puede.
Awesome. Hey, I know you got a lot of value from this, so make sure that you subscribe, you follow Albert. I'm sure all the information will be in this page. So follow. And hopefully we could do a longer one some other time.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. Thank you, buddy.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll see you.